Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis updated commodities. We're going to work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, commodities, ETFs that I follow. I'm going to interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. I just released a midweek update today. You get to see my opinions on all of these companies. It was about an hour long one. It was kind of a long one today. And you get to see, what I'm looking at and what I'm buying myself. I do have some information on there where you can follow what I'm doing. I have a Roth 401k that I am a complete open book on. I've been building that account. You can see what I'm buying, when I'm buying it, and I'm documenting everything with it. You guys can see why I'm doing certain things. We have May Day coupon code that's still active if you're interested. It's 50% off the first month on a monthly membership, only the first month, and a larger discount on the yearly membership if you want to switch to a yearly membership. Let's look at what's going on today and see what's going on. We've got huge moves in the dollar and yields today. I know Trump has been elected president, and we got some big moves today. So very big moves coming out of yields and the dollar. We're back up against resistance, and we'll see what occurs here. We'll see what occurs. We also have very strong yields today. The 2 years up 2.22, heading upward and strongly. We have a 10-year that was up even more, 3.8%, and we're at that cross section of resistance. Are we going to break through this cross section of resistance, or are we going to roll over? All I can say is, guys, the momentum is up. it's up, and we are going to try to break through it, is my opinion. The 30 years also up 3.88. It is engulfing everything in front of it. So generally, generally, when you see those patterns, it's a very bullish pattern, which means that it wants to continue higher. But we do have Trump going into office. And with that type of shock to the market, it could be a one-off event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remain open to see what comes after this trading day. Is it legit? If it is, we're going to see strength, maybe a small down candlestick or something like that, and upward pressure. If it is a one-off event and it is wrong, then we should see strong selling pressure to bring us back down. Right now, I'm in the bull camp that this is going to continue higher because that is the evidence that we have. QIX TNX ratio, we are still inverting this curve of the 30 divided by the 10. So the 30-year yield divided by the 10. The 30 was up a little bit more than the 10, and it's inverting the curve. Normalizing, it's inverting the curve, yeah. So as we come down, that is not favorable for precious metals because generally speaking, precious metals went up during all of these movements upward, up, and then it consolidates during these time frames. So right now, it's not a tailwind at this exact moment, this particular thing that we're looking at. TLT bond prices obviously getting shellacked with interest rates going up like that. Bond prices heading down, and the momentum right now is lower after today. So we were going to break upward. This was going to break upward. We broke out of the downtrend line, and today we got the exact opposite. It was a slap in the face breakout, which got denied. We're talking like we went up for the dunk and we came down with the ball still in our hand. That's what I mean. So again, is it a one-off event? Is it a one-day thing? Let's see what happens the next few trading days. The 2 and 10 year, we were coming on up. We broke out of this downtrend to reinvert the curve. But today we're getting volatility here, another large uninversion of the curve. But again, yields were going up when this occurred. So the long end of the curve went up more than the short end of the curve is what this means. And that's the uninversion. But that uninverts or normalizes when the long end goes up faster than the short end. So think of the yield curve uninverting because the long end went up more than the short end. Gold's down massively, down $80 an ounce. We had a big selling pressure move here, sideways move, and these generally head lower, so we got that follow through. We are back to support. The support area is this area through here, going across. There's the support there. Now, is there going to be further follow through here? As of right now, I would say it looks weak. Now, does that mean that the big gold bull market is done? No, I don't think it's done. But could we consolidate or head a little bit lower or do some sort of falling wedge? We very well could. So we've got downside momentum that was just generated recently in that circle there. Now we got to see what happens. Silver's also getting shellacked, down 4.5%. I don't think it looks that bad. I know we were down a lot today, but we are still above a lot of these support structures that we've got underneath us. That one there down around 24-ish dollars, and this one here around just under 30. So yeah, we're coming up back down. We got a little wick at the bottom, so there was some buying pressure towards the end of the day. We got killed in the beginning of the day. That's for sure. Let me hit 1 day here. So we were coming. I think this is no. That's not 1 day only. That 1 day should be start 11.6. 1 second, guys. Yeah, this is 1 day. 11.6 was up here, came down, 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 and then we came back up throughout the end of the day. You can see that we were coming back up off that bottom. And that's what that little wick is at the bottom there, at this daily candlestick, the little wick. That's just coming off the bottom there. So we had a big day. The momentum is down. We are at support. There's some support through here, and we're looking to see what happens after this. Platinum down about 1.1%. This one's got a much larger wick at the bottom, so people came in and bought it on up. We have higher lows coming up into resistance. The overall trend that we were seeing before today is still intact. And then Palladium down 3.72%. We were up against support, but again, today, with today being such a heavy news event, this could be a false, move lower, and we could see this come right back above support. So I think that we still have everything game on to the upside across the board. And as long as the market conditions stay favorable for gold, silver, platinum, and palladium to go higher, they're going to go higher, is what I'll say there. Mining companies sold off 3.66, breaking through that support level there. GDXJ also doing the same thing, but still above all of the support level areas that we need. And SILJ still above support, and it did sell off today. So right, still above this support line going across that I drew arbitrarily there. But it doesn't look horrible, but obviously it's not great. I feel like they gapped gold and silver down in the morning. And then the buyers came in and started buying back a lot of the shares. So I think it's probably just a 1 day off event. But again, let's see what happens over the next few trading sessions to see if we can start to drift higher. Or if we get massive selling pressure and we continue lower, then you've got your answer that maybe it is a trend shift. XEU to gold ratio, and this is the ratio of gold miners versus gold. You can see that bottoming action where the miners outperform gold itself. So yeah, we came down, but this could be a reversal where we could potentially go higher. We're still well poised, broken downtrend line. Gold miners still look good to go higher. There's not a lot of selling pressure in that circle there. Makes me think we want to go up. Crude oil, it got massively hit in the morning. But look at the selling pressure in the morning here. Boom, just right off the bat, going all the way down. And then look what happened here. Bam, huge buying pressure into a large bullish formation. This is on a minute candlestick, guys. 1 minute candlestick. You gotta love that. So it is bullish. It came back up throughout the day. It's back against that resistance support level, and we're right on top of it, just like we were yesterday for the most part. TTF gas working its way on up. That looks pretty bullish. Bullish engulfing above support. Everything looks good. Bullish setup there to continue higher on that stair-stepping pattern. Natural gas in America up 2.77% today. We are right underneath resistance, going across, and we are trying to break out. We've got positive lows coming up into the resistance area, and hopefully we can break through it. It looks pretty good to me. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, up 5.23%. What is going on there? We broke out of this resistance yesterday, almost like it was anticipating that type of move there. And here we are going higher. Now, are we going to break back above some of this resistance down here and get back above it? I think we could. This is a big bullish engulfing of all this crap. We've got big green candlesticks, smaller red candlesticks. This looks like it's forming an alliance of buyers to try to push this to the upside. So I think it looks good. We'll see if we get that type of momentum. It doesn't mean that we go straight higher. We could very well get some small candlesticks down before heading on up. But it looks like it's going to try to break through it and go back up. We also have the larger shoulder, head, shoulder that we are going to try to break out of. If we break out of that, we have a long way to run. Long way to run, baby. OIH, ho my ho bag, geez, almost 9% today on an ETF. We broke through that downtrend and boom, with Trump coming out too. And I know a lot of people, they're talking about Trump and all this other stuff. To me, it looks like a double bottom. We'll break out, probably do a retest or something and move our way on up. And we'll see if that occurs. Again, we were kind of trugging sideways there for a little while, and we'll see what occurs with these next few trading days. Newcastle coal futures pulling back a little bit, 1.3%, but still remains bullish, and these lows are still good and valid wherever that bottoms out at. I think that still looks good. Raw Physical Uranium Trust up about 2% today. Not a great candlestick, but it's okay. Momentum's still down. It's trying to turn. Uranium down a little bit, down 1.15%, looking like it wants to head a little bit lower and possibly even head back to the 65 region, 64, 65. URA up a little bit. Not a real convincing candlestick, I'll be honest, guys. Still think the momentum's downward. Same with URNM. Not a convincing candlestick yet. We are up against support. We'll see if it holds. And then URNJ, it's still coming on down. I mean, it gapped up in the morning and then sold off throughout the day. That's why it's red. Not convincing to me. What I'd like to see, if it was a convincing candlestick, is it gap down and then come all the way back up with a big bullish engulfing. Now that's a turning point candlestick. So we'll see. We'll see what occurs. We'll see what kind of follow through it has or doesn't have. And we can change and adjust our opinion as we go. Copper getting smoked. Now, here's the thing. I think what the market thinks is that renewables are not as good as they used to be based off of the presidency changing, and that oil and coal and fossil fuels are going to be good because Trump's in president, and that all of the renewable stuff is getting hit. You could even extend that to silver because silver is used in solar panels and is a huge demand driver from solar. But copper is also part of the renewable group, and it did sell off quite aggressively today, down 5.33%. We'll see if there's follow through with it or not. But it is an ugly looking candlestick. COPX also selling off, but the equities are a lot more hopeful. They sold off big, but they came and got bought back up. I'm in the camp that copper's probably going to go higher. still, and I think this is just a one-off day event. And I think the copper miners have it right. That's I mean copper equities. That's my guess. Iron ore had holding steady. Iron ore looks fantastic from a long-term perspective. Looks really good to move on up. But just holding steady today. Holding steady, and one of few that was holding steady there. We've got aluminum down a little bit, still at that resistance area here. We want to break through there and start running, if you're an aluminum investor at least. Nickel up a little bit. We're getting some support right where we're at, going across there. So we'll see if we can hold and turn this momentum around, start moving on up. Moo down 0.8%. This is the VanEck Agribusiness ETF. Still above support, still looks good. Kind of an ugly looking candlestick though. We'll see if there's any follow through. Again, I'm not today with Trump being elected and all the news and all the hype around everything. I'm gonna remain open. Gotta remain open. I don't know how legit these candlesticks are based off of news, reactions, and all that stuff in the market. But it is an ugly candlestick. Emerging markets also pulled back a little bit. It's hard to go up when the dollar and yields are just flying higher. Emerging markets is holding steady. It's above support. Everything looks good. Just a down candlestick with some buying pressure throughout the day. KRE, obviously the big benefactor today, up 13.4%. I'm sure you guys are wondering why. Well, Trump is a weaker yields guy. This also is a Livermore accumulation cylinder if you guys want to see that. You know you like that. Weaker yields and all the bonds that these guys hold, blah. It's probably going to benefit. It's probably going to benefit home builders too. But I didn't see the home builders really ripping today. So again, we'll see. And maybe this deals with money printing and lower yields, perhaps. TAN getting shellacked. I mean, anything renewable, solar's not going to do well under a Trump presidency. Is the at least the consensus is what I'll say. Lithium also heading a little bit lower. I think that's also the consensus there. But this still looks good to try to break out here for lithium. And then rare earth metals is also right at the breakout for that. And we could potentially be doing a retest of today. So lithium could be doing something very similar. Again, I remain open. Let's see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Baltic Dry Index heading higher, up about 2 point something percent. That looks like it wants to try to bottom and turn on up. And a lot of the companies look really good. A lot of companies that I've been kind of picking off have some of them have been the good old Baltic Dry Index exposure to it. Home builders. Home builders right underneath resistance. We'll see if we can punch through that. If yields drop, I know Trump wants lower yields. If he can get lower yields, and I don't know if he can, but if he does and he's successful and they print a bunch of money and do a bunch of QE or whatever they need to do, this will probably go up. If yields continue higher, I think this is going to be a rough ride for home builders. Russell 2000 ripping higher. They need people to be in this stuff, guys. They don't need the money rotation to go into all the other stuff. But this is a really good setup. We didn't really sell off. We're above support. Everything looks good, and then boom, higher there. The S&P 500 also ripping higher. This isn't really the plunge protection team. This is the plunge obliteration upside team today. Just ripping higher. The NASDAQ also ripping higher. And what's weird here is this is going up in the face of just an absolute horrible looking chart setup all through here. That whole box looks absolutely crappy. And I am surprised that we went up. So the plunge protection team went full force today, and we'll see if this thing holds. We've got SMCI continuing to go lower, down 18%, marching its way to zero, most likely. NVIDIA continuing higher, 4%, looking pretty good. This does look like we could get a little bit of a runny out of this thing for NVIDIA. We've got Bitcoin. A lot of people talking about Trump and Bitcoin going higher. Well, it was up about 10% today off his win. Again, This is sitting on top of a big pattern, guys. This could have a pretty big run. It looks pretty good. And then Ethereum up 11%. Another crypto with a Trump win. Big, huge move today. And that could continue. We'll see what happens. And then the VIX. Look at the VIX drop down 21%. Um, I'm going to say this, guys. When you get setups like this is what I look for in these setups. And then you go to break out, and then all of a sudden they stop it right during election and drop it 20% to the opposite side. Smells fishy. Smells fishy, guys. This is like the third building of the World Trade Center falling, and it fell in a demolition, but no controlled explosions. There was none. There was none there, okay? World Trade Center 7 that came down. There was no explosions here. These are the explosions. There's no explosion there. No one should be looking at this. And the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq especially. Yeah, there's nothing going on here, even though you had the entire VIX setup showing that this was ready to basically rip higher, have the S&P 500 breakdown and the Nasdaq breakdown, but we're moving on up. The plunge protection team, good job. You're doing it. Thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you'd like. We've got the midweek update that's released out there. Take a look at it if you'd like. Mayday coupon code is active. MAYDAY, one word. That's going to swap over to a new code here soon for Black Friday specials that are coming up. So that's what we've got today, guys. And the Black Friday special is going to be the same special, guys. It's not going to get cheaper. I have not raised any of my prices since 2020. I will not raise my prices at all for any of you guys. If you use those coupon codes, they protect you from that. And then you can roll over that coupon code every single year. And those that are with me for a year or two you can come back or whatever and use that code. I have a special code for those that are with me for a while for further savings on yearly memberships. So if you want a yearly membership, if you've been with me for over a year, I can give you a special code, get special pricing that will stay with you for the rest if you want to stay with me. And if your card expires or something happens, I'll set you back up again. No worries. So there is that. If you want to reach out to me, you can go to the website. You've got my email on there under the contact me form. So that's all I've got for today. We'll catch you guys later. This is Finding Value.